Okay, we are live. So Jenny, what are you doing? Her birthday is tomorrow. What are you doing for your birthday?
I'm going to Shady Maples in the morning.
Anything else planned?
I have no idea. I might go to Hawk Mountain though,
For
probably.
trail walk? How far is
Happy
it?
early birthday. What's Shady
Thank
Maples?
you.
Is it a restaurant?
Yes, it's like
Yeah.
it's like a big restaurant. It's like a whole buffet, and I love the breakfast. I go every year.
Okay,
And
awesome.
I love it because I do it every year because I like it because I'm able to invite people that are close to me and just spend that time with me, enjoying good breakfast and conversation.
Isn't it awesome? Breakfast is like the best meal of the day.
And they give us a
Yes,
meal on your
right?
birthday.
Oh my goodness, we can relate. We totally
Anything
got
with a
that.
cup of coffee is like the best meal.
Yeah, I love Shady Maple. They when it's your birthday, if you go there, you actually get a free meal. And they have amazing breakfast as well as dinner. It just depends on what they have for dinner. Sometimes, but
dinner sometimes.
But breakfast is always good, right?
No, breakfast is
right.
always. That's why I always go. And everybody's like, "What time are we gotta be there?" We gotta be there at 8:00 in the morning. 8:00.
Oh, sounds fun.
So
it is.
All right, we're just gonna give it a few moments for everyone to join. How was your weekend, Faye? Did you have a busy weekend?
It was an average weekend. Not too much to do. Just trying to get some work
Hi,
out.
Juan. Okay.
And I'm always working, so it's 7 days a week. So it doesn't.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
That never stops, right?
Never stops. Especially when you're working remotely, it's always something a fire to put out. So
Yeah.
How's the Zoom meetings going for you?
we do Microsoft Teams. So we do
Okay.
week meetings, and then quarterly we have a company-wide meeting just to give us updates on our financials and the health of the company, etc. But all of that is wonderful, and I actually really decided that I love working remotely again.
That's awesome. That's amazing.
That is.
All right. So just waiting for a couple more people to join.
I work in a hospital, so Shanera works from home.
So she hates me for that.
I'll be like, sometimes I'll be like, "You're so lucky."
Oh God, you're in the hospital, so your work just like doubled.
Yeah, it does.
Maybe tripled.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for taking care of us. All of this.
You're welcome.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. I think we'll do the raffle at the end, Jenny. That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll just do the raffle at the end. Thank you, viewers, for tuning in to Uncommon Women. I'm Shanera.
And I'm Jenny Lee.
And before we actually get into today's topic, we do have a beautiful Faye Ellis that's going to share her amazing testimony. But before we get into that, I just want to let everyone know who we are and what we actually do. So we're an empowerment podcast. We focus on two things. We uplift and edify women. We give women a platform to actually share their story in regards to what they went through in life and where they are now in life. And then we also have people that actually come on and educate us in regards to certain topics. So today we have Faye Ellis. She's actually going to share her testimony in regards to what she's went through and where she's at now in life. To let you know a little bit about Faye, she's a project manager who has a Six Sigma green belt. She's also owner of Her Candy LLC, which is a hair company. And she newly self-published author and social improvement advocate. The purpose of her writing and releasing such a personal and imposing memoir was to bring awareness and implement change into how we inform, empower, and protect our children in regards to sexual abuse and crimes. Her life as a lemon speaks to the sour parts of all of us. We have all felt, powerless at one point or another because of bad decisions, addictions, environments, and/or circumstances. So Faye's life delivers the message of proof that just like a lemon, we have always had everything we need to prevail. The mere shift of perspective has allowed her as an ex-felon to work with the various counties where she once was as an inmate to assist fulfilling her necessary missions. So thank you again, Faye, for actually coming out and sharing your story. For anyone that has any questions, we ask that you just drop your questions in the comment, and then we'll be sure to get them answered at the end. So before she actually goes into her story, Faye, is there anything that you wanted to tell us before we actually get started about yourself?
I think you did a wonderful job, Shanara. Thank you so much. And Jenny for having me. I really appreciate you all having a platform like this so we can come together, discuss, and also put, boots to ground and make some real change in this world. I mean, that's the point. And I'm so happy to be on this journey with you guys today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So before we actually get into your story, tell us a little bit about, your life. How was it actually growing up and things like that?
Oh, well, I'm actually the oldest of 3 children. I have 2 younger brothers, and I hail from St. Louis, Missouri. Go Cards. And life was exquisite. My mom and dad both were in the house.
Okay.
Tons of cousins. And very close to my cousins and families, both on my dad and mom's side. So, we took road trips, we went bowling, we had Saturday breakfast at Shoney's, we went out to eat every now and then. My mom cooked all the time, all 3 breakfasts, meals. And it was everything that y'all needed, and God was the foundation of our lives.
Yes.
So my dad empowered us with books and messages and images and Farrakhan rally. So we also are very prideful in who we are as Black people. So I think I had a well-balanced and happy childhood.
Okay, that's awesome. And you said you're the oldest of 3? You're the oldest of 3?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have a brother and sister? Or is it
I have
just
2 brothers, 2 younger brothers.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So they probably was driving you crazy when you were younger.
Oh my God. They were 13 months apart. So everybody thought they were twins. So they were, compared to what you think a bad kid is now, they were angels, but were just hell on earth, Oh my goodness. Cause they're so close in age.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Jesus
so everyone
Christ.
thought they were twins. That's awesome.
Yeah. Similar in size and everything. So my mom dressed them alike. I'm like, oh, this is so annoying. Growing up, you play That's My Car and all that stuff. And you have to come break it up because no, okay, now you get the next car because we're about to fight. And it was great though.
Well, you being the only girl, I'm sure you were spoiled then.
Maybe I was. I didn't think I was at the time. I thought they got everything. You know what I'm saying? So you get 2 boys and they were like the squeaky wheel. So they got, so, but I guess I really was. I never had to share a room and I always.
See? There you go.
Now that you look at it, right.
Right. The canopy bed I wanted. So yeah, I guess so. Definitely.
That's awesome. All right, so let's go ahead and actually go into your story before we go into the book itself and in regards to the details of what you have in the book. Tell us a little bit about your story and how this all began.
Oh, wow. Well, I'll give you guys the short version because you got to go out and get the book. So.
Right.
Well, it's funny that you started out asking me about my childhood and my family because it's amazing how you can get your blessing and your curse all in the same package, right? So as vivid as I painted the picture of how happy my childhood was, which it was, I can't take anything from it. There was also someone lurking in that circle of family that offered me my first taste of brokenness. And being sexually violated on the eve of my 7th birthday kind of set in event a chain of just bad decisions, self-doubt, mistrust, and missed opportunities. And so the book, My Life as a Lemon, takes the reader on a journey coming full circle that nothing was ever taken from me. Because no one can really take what is already instilled in you, but they can highlight some things that don't serve you. So what that incident did for me is it highlighted insecurities, it highlighted mistrust, and highlighted anger. And but that was there, but that made it bubble up. And so it stayed at the surface for so many years, you know, over 40 years to be exact. For the reader to just watch how someone could self-destruct, you know, even being born with everything that you need to succeed, you still can self-implode because of one incident. And my purpose of writing the book was to let viewers know and readers know that it's important to start addressing stuff as soon as it happens.
Right.
Had I had resources, had my family known to have the type of conversations that empower people like myself, that no matter what happens, no matter what anyone tells you, we got your back. You know what I'm saying? But not in a threatening manner, because I think a lot of times victims don't say anything because the person who violates them, they also love and care for, and they don't want that person to be hurt. Mm-hmm. So we have to strike a balance between healthy repercussions, you know, and making people creating a safe space for survivors, and also a space where people who are perpetrators can get the help that they need as well too. If that had been in place, maybe it wouldn't have taken me 40 years to finally say, hey, this is not a way to live. And the book just kind of takes you through that. And when you see my aha moments, and the reader can identify that in themselves and not have to wait so long and fail so many times along the way, and can get the message early on. So that's a little bit of my background. I won't go into too many details. I'm sure I'll give a little more sneak peeks throughout this conversation, but that's kind of in a nutshell and where it all started.
Okay.
So 7th birthday, wow. What emotions were you going through when this occurred on your birthday? And was it something that you were able to easily talk to your parents about, or what were you going through as a child?
That's a good question. I never really sat to reflect on, even at this age, what I felt then. But if I had to, I think there's really confusion and shame, you know. Like I said, it's only shame because the conversations have never happened. You know, you're having more, I mean, just think of the conversations we have on social media now and things that used to make people uncomfortable. No, it's no time out for being uncomfortable. That's how you grow, right?
Right.
I felt, I guess, ashamed and very ashamed and confused. That's why the next day I took my grandma's shotgun and tried to shoot a man. You know, how do you deal with those emotions? So I guess anger was a part of it as well too. Mm-hmm. And my parents, we never had that conversation. My mom found out my dad has since passed away when the book was released in February. So 21 years later.
Okay. So can you tell us a little bit about the next day, how you grabbed a shotgun? Like, again, what were you thinking, or what was the surroundings, or how did that all come about in regards to the shotgun?
Well, I was in Poplar Bluff, Missouri, so it's a very country town in Missouri, where I was visiting my grandmother. I go every summer, and I have a lot of cousins there. And so this particular person was a cousin. And we were going to the store because my party was later on that evening. And I was going to get in the front seat. And then this particular cousin that had done this the day before said he was coming along. So I just remember my whole spirit's just like,
your energy is like, wow.
Yeah. So I just got in the back of the truck, you know, the pickup truck. It's fun to ride in the back anyway, and of course the shotgun was back there. So we went to the grocery store. I decided to stay in the car. And because why I want to be with, you know, him. So we went with my grandmother, and hot sun sitting in the back of the pickup truck, and my thoughts are just going every which way. And I just see this young guy, no shirt on, chilling in the back of a pickup truck across the parking lot. And some say, shoot him. I don't know what. Some just said, shoot. And so I hesitated, and I crawled over, picked the gun up, pointed at him. And then there's something else, even quieter, said, look to the right. Just look to the right. So I looked to the right and I could just see my grandmother like hands wailing and screaming. And she's in the store, but it's a big window. So I could run into the car and I just kind of like set it down, and we never spoke about it. She didn't tell my mom. She didn't tell my dad. I didn't get a whooping. I had my party and it never came up again. So what that taught me was that I could get away with unthinkable acts. And what it also taught me is that other people could get away with unthinkable acts.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I'm glad that your grandma was that angel that, directed you a different way. Definitely. So let's skip forward. As an adult, what happened in your life that triggered the circumstance of you having to go to prison, to go to jail?
Oh, well, I became very acquainted with a lot of friends like Jack and Daniel, Hennessy and Coke. So a lot of those influences, a lot of it was for DUI.
Mm-hmm.
So I began to drink heavily. My first drink was at 9.
Wow.
So.
Wow. How was your life actually bouncing back in regards to getting the DUI, and like what was the thoughts that was processing in your head at the time of being in jail and then spending there for 3 weeks, like by yourself?
Well, I did other acts because I was just a person that acted out. I did what the hell I wanted to do.
Okay.
Alcohol was not far away.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a very controlling. I have a controlling, very organized personality. So my life was functioning whether I was in or out because I just had it. It was weird, I was doing things that were not morally right and some things illegal, but I also went to work every day, took care of my kids, paid, did all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I was gone for a couple of days or overnight, I never missed a beat. But at one point I was gone for 6 months and I literally had just purchased a home. I have children, I had a car note, so I had all the responsibility that someone who was not out committing crimes had. And I had to try to figure out how to, whenever I was going to be released, to keep my life back on track. Mm-hmm. And going in and out was, I guess I went in and out because I was able to keep it secret from the world. And the only people who really knew were the people in my circle, my mom, my dad, my friend, et cetera. And you don't really have that much embarrassment with people who, have failed and made mistakes themselves too. One particular situation that changed, and my entire staff found out about it. I was gone for 45 days and I had put things in place where I it out, and my kids were gone for the summer anyway, and my cousin totally unraveled all of that, contacted my boss, said I was in a near-death crash, and my entire staff started researching and
oh wow,
the state troopers about accidents, trying to find because my cousin had I had instructed her to do something very simple as to return my clients' calls, and she decided that she was going to do something more dramatic and tell my boss I was almost dead. And that turned my life upside down. And that was the first time getting in trouble, getting locked up, where I had to really face the music when I got out, because these were people who I was in a relationship with for 5 or 6 years. At the time I was in real estate, and I couldn't speak for myself for 45 days. All I had was this crazy lie that was out there. And so to me, that kind of ruined relationships. I left that office. I had to just totally rebuild while still trying to stay ahead and pay your bills and do all of that and do community service and get your kids back in school. So that was extremely tough emotionally. It was embarrassing financially. And, so yeah, it's tough. Free, not free.
Right. Mm-hmm. But what do you feel like was your breaking point when you knew like, this ain't for me, life got to change, my job knows what's going on, and everything was kind of like just going downhill? What was your breaking point in regards to you was like, I want to change, I want to make a difference for the community, and you know, people that may have experienced what I've been through?
Well, that type of thought process didn't start until I completed the book. But the actual aha moment for me, although it was a relationship with my family member that violated me, that put me in pieces, it was another relationship 31 years later that when that relationship ended, it made me realize that even though I had all the ingredients to live a successful life and be, you know, a productive citizen and a wonderful mom and wife, I didn't know the doses. You know, I needed a professional chef or a therapist.
Mm-hmm.
I needed somebody to say, hey, you need a dash of, you know, empathy. You need a cup of who am I showing up as in my relationship. So you need a tablespoon of self-awareness. You know what I'm saying? I needed someone to kind of, you have everything. Let me show you when to incorporate it and how to incorporate it in. Because I was so low after that relationship, and it just forced me. I was like, I'm getting professional help, and I went and got that. I didn't think it was working.
Wow.
It did.
Mm-hmm.
Because it forced you to see who you were being. Unfortunately, your family and friends sometimes will sit back and watch a train wreck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm more enablers than they are, you know, like, you know, when they should say, this is the standards to be in my life. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
As opposed to that, they do things to make the person who's been a violator, who's been foul, comfortable. And it's their way of labeling you. And it can go on for years and years. And it's like, when were you going to say something? When you were at my funeral?
Where's the boundaries? Right.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know,
right.
there's nothing wrong with tough love. Just say what it is. Those uncomfortable conversations.
Yeah. We sometimes we need that tough love though.
Mm-hmm. You need
and we definitely need
honest
those
with you.
conversations. Definitely need those conversations to move from it in a positive perspective.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. So your situation that happened when you were 7, was that the only tragic event that you've actually had in your life prior to getting help and healing and things like that?
Well, you know, tragedy happens in different doses, you know, and it's all how you know, interpret it. And once a traumatic experience has happened once, everything after that is traumatic.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's true. Mm-hmm.
You know, you may say, oh, I'm not a victim because you don't let other people you feel victimize you. But if you turn around internally and do things that damage yourself, you are victimizing your own self all over again. Right. So little tragedies along the way. I just I went into real estate, as I said before.
Mm-hmm.
That was like my boyfriend. I love real estate. But I had a business partner at one point when we were buying houses. Like I said, I did what I was supposed to do. I was a productive citizen, but I also was a villain as well. So I played more roles in a book than just one. And the night before his wedding, he violated me as well. And the same thing happened for as my self-destructive pattern, like I wanted to shoot the guy, which would have eventually got me in more trouble. Mm-hmm. When I had to sit in jail for a long time because I got a couple of DUIs right after that.
Did you ever blame yourself through the situation occurring again? Did you ever feel at a point where you blamed yourself, like, why does this keep happening to me? Or
well, I can't say I was blaming myself, but I was really frustrated. Like I was pissed because this person was like, well, I felt brother and sister. That's gross to say, but I felt very close to this person. So I was like, I did question like, okay, what type of signals am I sending off that makes somebody like this person think it's okay?
Yeah.
Right.
You know, but it wasn't me. It's the statistics. I mean, Rain says every 73 seconds, someone in the United States is sexually abused.
Yeah.
It's a sexual crime that happened. So it was, you know, unfortunately, if there's somebody being abused, there's someone doing the abusing. And it was the first time. And it just happened that, you know, it happened again.
Right.
So, speaking out in advance, speaking out when it first happened, Like I said, I'm sure that wasn't his first time, but if whoever he did it to the first time had spoke out, maybe that wouldn't have happened to me. If I would have spoke out when I was 7, I found out later it happened to somebody else, another family member by that same person, maybe it would have prevented it from happening to them.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jenny, did you have any questions?
Okay, when your cousin abused you, how did that really make you feel towards him? Like, you're like, wow, he's my family member. You know, this is the person that's supposed to love me, protect me, watch over me. No, you guys are family.
Mm-hmm.
So how did that make you feel towards him?
Well, he was my cousin. I've seen him as a kid, so I didn't hold him in any high standards because he's a kid. I guess it's I had a father in my life, so I knew who was opposed to my saving grace, my parents, my grandparents. But I didn't blame them because how can they save you from something they don't know that's happening?
Right.
And so I never had any hate or ill will against him, but I internalized and I turned it on myself.
Okay.
Because what do you do when you know, this is your family, this is somebody you play with, you've known forever. But what they did made me kind of feel different about everything. So you don't know how to internalize that as a 7-year-old. So
Wow. So you released the book this year, right? Was it February that you said? Which is awesome.
Yes.
Congratulations on that. Prior
Thank
to
you.
you actually releasing the book, you said you have children as well.
Yes.
Did you sit down and speak to them in regards to about the book or what you went through in your life in regards to their family member? Or is it something that you guys discussed prior to you actually releasing the book?
Well, I didn't go into details prior to me releasing the books, but me and my daughters are very close. So like the drinking and the, jail time, I was very honest with them about why things were happening and how, I thought I was being as honest as possible, but I guess I really wasn't because I didn't go back to really what the root cause was, So never mind, hey, alcohol will lead to jail. Yes, it could, but let me tell you the whole, let's get the whole context.
Deeper than the alcohol.
Right.
Right. And not to place blame because we all still are cognitive and we can make our own decisions. It's just that that was the decision I was just comfortable with making because to me, I always bounce back. So now had I lost an arm or killed someone, that'd have been different, but I felt it was horrible, but I was functioning. It didn't lose enough to want to stop, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then just one day you wake up and say, oh, I am losing a lot. I'm losing hella opportunities, hella income, self-esteem, and I may be losing friends that I don't know, people who are supposed to be in my life for good, but they can't be around me because I got all this crap going on. So I need to switch.
Reevaluate, right.
I can't preach to my kids one thing, and I'm over here going to school at night, working full time, but then I'm doing something to erase all the good that I'm doing. That's gonna have to change.
Awesome. I'm glad that you're, close to your daughters and that you guys are able to actually communicate and talk about your life, and then also give them the opportunity to be open with you as well, because I'm sure that has to be hard. And I'm sure that they're proud of you with you actually releasing the book as well.
Yeah, they were pretty stoked. They both had lots of questions, and they was like, oh, now I get it. And they say a picture's worth 1,000 words, but so is 1,000 words.
Yes.
That's awesome. So what are some things that you're actually proud of from your testimony? I mean, even though it was tragic situations and things that you've been through in your life that's molded you who you are now, what are you proud of about your testimony?
Through it all, I just remember saying, years ago, I would always say, read the book, just read the book. Because I knew I was going to have to put pen to paper at some point and just tell my story. But the reason behind it was because I had this voice, most would say it was God, their higher being, saying, you're here for a purpose, dude. This is not going to take you out. You know what I'm saying? And I think it also had me the confidence to just walk through craziness where other people would have just sat, because something just kept saying, girl, you got more than this. This is not the end of your story. And the thing I'm most proud of is, of course, putting the book out there and actually having a purpose behind the book is to help, like I said, mitigate a lot of sexual crimes and abuse and to eventually eradicate it. Now, I was told one time that you're supposed to be involved with a purpose that you will never see come to fruition in your lifetime. That is a big purpose. And I'm pretty sure I won't see this come to fruition in my lifetime, but I will definitely sure I will be a part of the change. Secondly, my kids, they're healthy, they're well, they're great people, they're self-sufficient, and I couldn't be prouder.
That's good. That's amazing. Yeah.
Jenny, did you have any questions?
How has your life been now up to this point?
I would say a screenshot of today, life is what it was prior to the violation of 7. Life is exquisite.
Okay.
I mean, most people could give a testimony, but they only have memories. I was blessed enough to give a testimony. I still have my mom, my kids, my health, my strength, my mental stability. I came out on the other side better than I went in. So life is
That's awesome. So tell us a little bit about your book in regards to, with you launching it this year and then your business, if you want to go into your LLC, and just overall, what have you been doing in regards to for the community?
Okay. So my purpose, and I'm going to pull it up here just so I can get it correctly. My whole premise and goal is to create, this is strictly in reference to sexual abuse and crimes, is to create a baseline for evaluating the current programs that we have. Increase awareness, and that's what we're doing here today, is having this conversation. The book is increasing awareness, and also my Facebook live show, FM Fridays, which premieres on the 28th at 1 p.m.
Whoop, whoop.
Want to motivate law enforcement and the legal system to have better corrective actions. Far too often, the victim or the survivor is not believed or teased or mocked for sharing their story. And we have to create a culture that does not do that, especially when someone is being violated every 73 seconds. There's no one who's not at risk. So, I mean, why don't we have these protocols in place? A safe space.
I agree.
And as well as people who may be victims who are experiencing feelings because maybe they were victimized before and now they could possibly be perpetrators. And we just have to have the conversations and create programs to it's a huge problem in the U.S.
Yes, it is.
It's a huge problem. Yes. Racial injustice, absolutely. But a lot of stuff stemmed because people were abused and taken advantage of at a very young age, and they come out in all these different things. So we need to set priorities. And then finally, I want to target public educational programs. I would like to see us have conversations about sexual empowerment as young as kindergarten, because if you wait to middle school, most of the time it's too late. Kids have already been violated. I made a comment on my first podcast that I was involved in, that when I was coming up in school, we had this thing called Stop, Drop, and Roll. I don't know what it was about the United States and fires. They had Smokey the Bear to prevent the fires and how forest fire. And
everybody knows about Stop, Drop, and Roll, right?
Okay, so I want to ask, there's 3 people on this call. Have any one of you been involved in a fire?
I have.
Have you stopped, drop, and roll?
No, but I think sometimes when we stop, chop, and roll, we're just in shock. We don't know if we have to do it or not.
So let me ask you this. They say years ago it was 1 in 3 women have been violated, whereas 3 of us on here, and clearly the statistic is proven because I'm one of the 3.
I've been violated as a child myself.
Jenny's been violated as well.
So now the statistic is higher. What was the protocol for being violated?
To be honest, I
have
wouldn't.
one.
It's not one in place.
Yeah, then
The one they told you about being in the fire, you didn't even use. So we waste so much money and make people remember so many things that's not going to be useful for them.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see our attention geared towards something that affects more people, someone every 73 seconds. The perpetrator is affected just like the victim, because typically the perpetrator was a victim.
That's right.
Wow. Yeah.
So it's just crazy that where our dollars and our conversations go and what we teach our kids. But you could be the smartest person, you can get all A's and be around here molesting people when you get 21 because you've held something in and you angry and you want to get back. I mean, how are we measuring happiness? How are we measuring health in this country? You know,
That's
so it's my goal.
So your goal is actually, I love it though. So your goal is actually to get into schools and making it more of an awareness, or even a class that to make it smoother for children to actually speak upon.
I want it to be just as memorable as Stop, Drop, and Roll.
Wow. I love that. I love that whole concept and what you're trying to do, because that is important, where children need to have a voice, even as you being a 7-year-old and saying, hey, this is what happened to me, and for people to believe you, you know, because sometimes they don't believe. I think
that's what the issue is. Like, how do you get someone to believe? Because I've seen people of a higher authority do it, and it's like, I don't want to put any too much detail on it, but you know, I've seen people get molested by people that's supposed to be like a leader. How do you?
You could talk about athlete A.
On the stage. Right. You see people that are supposed to be a leader, and it's like the family don't believe the child. Yeah. This is the personality that they have, the persona that they have for the world. You know. I think we need to start with that first.
Yeah.
In regards to believing the child.
Yeah. Because I think that's like recently I was watching this father and mother, where the father was trying to give the daughter back to the mother, but mind you, the mother, she couldn't, they had a court order where the child could not be around the stepfather because she was claiming that she was being molested. I think it was Stand Up for Sophia, I think it was.
Okay.
And the stepfather was literally, she said it like literally on video, how the grandmother asked her why she did not want to be around this man. She's like, Mr. Jake touches me and I don't like it, and mommy watches. And she's like, the grandmama's just like nothing. She's like, oh, okay. Like, you're basically, this is being shown on national television, and you're just like
brushing it off.
And it just makes it seem like the grandmother's not believing her. And she's hysterically, yeah.
I think the conversation opens up a Pandora box a lot of people are not comfortable with. I don't know if it's people don't believe kids, or that the police don't believe the victim, or that it's just, it gets into, I don't know why people just would rather live in silence than to have the conversation. I have watched, since I released the book, there have been so many shows and documentaries. I guess when she was, like, if you want to buy Lexus, all of a sudden you start seeing a bunch of Lexus. So I'm talking about sexual abuse, and now everything in my feed is about sexual abuse. I seen this show called Trial by Media. It's on Netflix, and this particular episode was about Big Dan's bar it's in Boston. And this young lady was assaulted, was raped by 4 men on a pool table in front of the rest of the bar. And when the fact that her trial was tried in the media, I mean, they ripped this young lady apart.
So sad.
How can you be raped in public on a pool table, but yet people are literally threatening you?
That's so sad.
Like you're the
bad
guy.
Like he's, they're
she
the victim.
wanted it.
Wow.
I couldn't sleep after that, because I was like, and I start seeing more and more documentaries and shows where it's not just the men. The women do the same thing to other women. We don't even believe each other.
That's right.
And I believe it stems from the beginning of this country. The Constitution was written for white men. Women didn't even really have a voice. And that's kind of has, marinated throughout society. When a woman said, like, for instance, surviving R. Kelly, it takes six episodes.
Yeah, the Me Too movement, all that, right?
Something about somebody we already knew had done something 20-something years ago. So one man voice, but it takes 50, 60 women. It's just showing us where our value system lies and how this is allowed to continue to happen, because the world is telling you that you as one woman, you're not enough.
You're not enough. That's true.
And if that happens to you at 3, at 7, at 17, at 77, shut up.
That's so true.
Yep.
You give me 18 more people saying the same thing, maybe we'll have a conversation.
It's dusted under the rug with one person. That's right. That's so true. That is
so that's why people are silent. Because unless they come out with a whole parade, then they're victimized all over again.
Yeah.
And then have to keep speaking on it, sharing what happened, and then it's like, do you really believe me?
Yeah. And I think it shouldn't take 20 times for you to say what happened to you. You should be able to say your story once. This is what happened to me. They raped me. They abused me. I have a voice, and I'm going to tell you what happened.
Right.
And when you
do your job, do the investigation, and don't keep asking me the same questions 50 minutes.
Right. To see if you're going to switch your story.
Right.
No,
that's true.
We got a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. I'm excited for you.
Yeah, I am.
I can't wait to follow up with you to see what change you have brought into the school system, because I think that's amazing. That's amazing. Definitely amazing. So we spoke a lot about your book. Where can we locate your book, or your website, and how to purchase your book and things like that, to get a little bit more details in regards to your story?
All right. So you can purchase the ebook or the paperback. You see that I got this cover up, so you can see when you go online. It's My Life as a Lemon. And if you go on Amazon, it's My Life as a Lemon by Faye Ellis. Or you could be so kind as to subscribe and order your hard copy on my website at fmellis.com. That's F as in Faye, M as in Marie, Ellis.com. So it's easy, couple of clicks, get the book right to you.
Yes.
Love your support. Please subscribe, because we send out bi-monthly newsletters that have a lot of information, a lot of resources in reference to sexual abuse, mental illness, addiction, and everything. And we just talk about a lot of relevant topics. And we also highlight different minority business as well too. So come on, guys, support fmellis.com.
Awesome. Yes, I love it. And we'll also add the details when we post audio. We'll add all the links so that it's easier for people to click in. And I can edit this one as well to add it for you as well. Is there anything that you could express to women or give any advice that you would like in regards to your story and what you've been through, just to help others, or just anything at all that you would like to talk about?
Yeah, the biggest thing for me is I continued the cycle of brokenness while I was in my story. The reason the book is out now is because I stopped living my story and I started living my life.
Mm-hmm.
You should check yourself and see, are you living inside of a story, or are you actually thriving? So if you find yourself kind of wandering, you are on the right track. Just trust yourself, trust the process, and grow.
Okay. Perfect.
I also have another question for you, and this is a question that we always ask all our guest speakers. Mm-hmm. What makes you uncommon?
What makes me uncommon is my resilience. I think when God was giving out things to people, I got back in that line more than once. I have been knocked down. I've tripped and fell, but I have never been out. And I'm not just back for myself. I'm back with purpose for others. So that makes me uncommon.
I love that.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Faye, for actually coming out and sharing your amazing story. And I just appreciate your passion to be able to help others, especially people in schools, or just to make a change in regards to something that does happen more frequently than a fire, you know?
Yeah.
Not that fires doesn't happen.
Right, no,
happen. We're not saying that
it does.
We're just saying the percentage, the percentage
right.
Of abuse versus a fire is something that should be educated in schools. So I appreciate your drive to want to make a difference in the community, as well as for like children growing up and just starting a whole new movement. Like, that's amazing. Jenny, did you want to add anything before we go into the raffle?
No.
Okay. So
awesome.
That's the recording. All right. So we thank you, viewers. We actually had a raffle that went on for a couple of months for our shirts that we launched this year. And we were giving out $75 for the first prize, a jogger set for the second one, and then $25 for the third prize. So we're going to actually call out the names that won. So I have a little box right here. Everything, you can't see the names. I folded it. You know, I'm not cheating. There's no favorites. There's no favoritism. So the first one we're going to do the $25 prize. So let's see who it is. See, it's closed. Can't see it. Let's see who the winner is. Okay, now if I butcher this, please forgive me. Melissa Dino Brigo. So we're going to reach out to you. You have won $25. We'll give you details in regards to that. So the next one we're going to do is the jogger set.
Are you having a hard time?
No, I'm just trying to fold it. Brenda Johnson. So she's won the jogger set. And then first prize, $75. Right. Alicia Wilson. So we are going to, congratulations to our winners, for everyone that's purchased one of our apparels. We'll be reaching out to you guys in regards to your winnings. And do we have any questions from anyone? No, we do not. Well, thank you, viewers, for coming out and listening to the lovely Faye Ellis share her story.
Yay, thank you for having me.
Be sure to tune in to the auto stream, which will be posted next week. And I'll also update the bio that we have today in regards to where you can find her website and her book and get all the good details that she has so that you can follow her and see what changes she's going to make in the community. Yes. Jenny, is there anything else that you wanted to add?
Thank you, Faye, for coming on and giving us your wonderful testimony. Keep doing what you're doing. For those that are abused and for those that have been in our situation, we need women, more women like you, like us, that are willing to fight for women so they can have a voice. Yeah. And that is important because some of us don't speak. Some of us don't speak until we're older. Mm-hmm. I know I did that. I waited until I was waiting until I was comfortable and told my family, listen, this is what happened.
Right. Yeah.
I wish I could have done it when I was younger, but I didn't. But in the end, I got my justice, even though I didn't open my mouth, but I've seen it for myself that I got my justice. The person ended up going to jail. That's exactly
awesome.
Yes. So not too many of us get our justice. And, you know, it also, you know, I've had to forgive people in my life because I wasn't just abused one time. It was a couple other times as well. So, and that is, it takes a big step to forgive someone, you know, especially like you said with your cousin, because, you know, I totally understand. So thank you so much for doing what you're doing and what you're going to continue to do.
Thank you all. Thank you all for this platform, and you all keep rocking it out, because I mean, we need more of this and less of not this.
Thank you so much, Faye. And viewers, please remember to stay uncommon.